Yeah, what's up, Miami Hurricane fans? Want to talk with y'all a little bit about the game against Virginia Saturday. It's past Saturday. We lost 13-16. Um, don't know what's gonna happen, man. I mean, we still in the hunt for a coastal division. We were first, but now it's like 6 teams with one loss and in conference play, and we don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. We might need help to get in. I mean, going down a couple more games, man, in the future. I mean, we might not even win the Coastal. We might not even stay at first place or second place. I mean, who knows, bro? I mean, I don't understand. And I support the team, bro, and I just don't understand how Virginia beat us. I don't understand that. I mean, I watched the game and it was, I don't know, man. This N'Kosi Perry and Rozier, I don't know why Mark Richt put Rozier in instead of staying with N'Kosi Perry. I mean, we could have probably won the game with him. I mean, all that Rozier can do is run. He don't even think about throwing the ball first. He wants to run. I mean, I don't. People could be open and he still, wouldn't pass it to him really, or if he does, it goes down to the bottom of their feet or it goes over their head. There's no, you know, it's like it's not even he's not even part of the program, bro. I mean, I don't understand this. N'Kosi Perry is a better quarterback, and he showed it. He did have two interceptions, and then he got benched, and then to put Rozier in there, and he don't do any better. I mean, I don't know what the state of the program is right now. It's not. We got a chance to go probably the same record that we had last year, 10-3. Right now we're 5-2. If we win next week, 6-2. So we got a chance to. Well, if we win the bowl game, we would have one more win compared to last year's three losses. We could go 11-2, but do I see that? No. But I still support Miami, and I'm not going to just give up on my team, bro. Because I mean, I've been a fan for years. I'm 40 years old now. I was Miami fan since I was 5. So 35 years of supporting them through thick and thin, man. And you know what? It puts salt in the wound because the Orange Bowl was decimated. But the last game we played in there, we played against Virginia. I don't know if a lot of people remember that. We played against Virginia. And they beat us 48-0, I think, or 48-3. Yes, it was in about 7 years ago, 8 years ago, around that time, maybe a little longer than that. They had what was that guy's name for Oklahoma? Sam Bradford. He was a quarterback. But man, that was a disappointing loss, man. It's devastation. And then we get these coaches and everything, and I agree with Alonzo Oliver on that Al Golden was, a lot of people don't like Al Golden, whatever. They said he never supported Miami because he never wore the shirts or anything. He just wore a tie, a white shirt and a tie, orange and green. But man, he was under sanctions. He was losing scholarships. I mean, and some of his recruits that Mark Richt carried over were pretty decent players, man. He was recruiting 15th, 14th in the nation recruiting class. I think he got like an 8 or 9 his last year. I'm not sure. But he had some pretty good players. I believe that if the coaching staff would have been better, they could have made Tracy Howard, that 5-star cornerback, Tracy Howard, to be a better player. Then you had Jamal Carter, as a safety. No, yeah, that's right. Jamal Carter was a safety, and Tracy Howard was a cornerback, I think. Or he might have got reverted to safety. Now, they're not my favorite safety at Miami was Brandon Merriweather. I don't know if a lot of people remember him. He's a Pro Bowler. He went to the Pro Bowl for a few times, but that was my favorite safety. And then when Miami had him and no relation, but the cornerback and the safety had the last same name. In fact, he's probably one of the last of the best safeties that we had back there. And that was I'm thinking of, give me a minute, I'm thinking of his name. Man, I can't remember his name. Man, I have to look it up. I'll do that. I'll look it up and I'll come back and make another video. But him and the cornerback had the same name, but there was no relation. There wasn't kin. In fact, that year there was probably the best two safeties. The safety position at Miami that year was probably the best in the nation. The number one, I believe it, because Merriweather was a great player. I think when he got hit in his freshman season hard, I think that woke him up, man. He started playing with some violence, man. He was bad. We lost that game to Florida State 10-7 though. But I'm still trying to remember that guy's name. Anyway, still a fan, man. I'm always will be. Miami has had a lot of fans that have, you know, a never say die attitude, man. That's one thing about Miami. They got some hardcore fans. You know, I'm not really a hardcore all that time. Sometimes when I focus in on Miami, you know, I do. You know, I go through a regimen of every day with shows and stuff. Watch football games of the past with Ray Lewis and Warren Sapp in the '94 Orange Bowl against Nebraska. And they thought they was ranked number 3. They had Frank Costa was a quarterback though, but they had some great defensive players, man, and they had some good offensive players. I remember that game, and I used to play that. Then the Florida State game 2009 with Jacoy Harris, they beat in the end zone. They they beat Florida State, and that was the last time until a couple of years after that. Last year and this year we beat Florida State, but a lot of people say, well, that's too down program. You know, right now Florida State's not the greatest, but you know, it doesn't matter the rivalry game, man. You get up to play that game. If Miami had won a game, they would play hard in that game to try to win. I mean, because it's rivalries. It's players that have played each other in the state of Florida. You got a lot of players for Florida State that's played Miami players. We do have Uncle Luke still, though. I wish that it was, you know, kind of nostalgia. I wish it was back in the 80s again where we dominated. I don't know, man. I mean, I can see where they're saying that Mark Richt is doing the same plays over and over again. And my opinion is I believe that he should hire an offensive coordinator. I think Thomas Brown is the offensive coordinator. Will let him by himself plan out there and let Mark, you know, oversee that. I mean, I know he loves football. He was a backup to Jim Kelly at Miami. He was Florida State's offensive coordinator, and then he went to Georgia, and he's got an impressive. I'm not gonna lie, he's got an impressive record at Georgia. He was 150-40, I believe, in that range, and he's done a decent job. But we need to see more results now. If he wins out the rest of these games, goes to the ACC championship, Miami does. Then if they do beat Clemson, then I think with if we go to 2 losses, I think that we can still get in the college playoff as an ACC representative of the Power 5. You know, guys, I mean, I'm going to continue to care about Miami because it's you know, I'm a fan of them, and I respect the history. I really do respect the history of the Miami Hurricanes. A lot of people now, they're going to be down. They was mediocre for about 10 to 11 years. So they're not going to, the next time ESPN does a number 1 program like it did in 2009, and Miami was number 1 at that time as far as NFL players. Now I think they probably dropped to number 3. I looked at an article, and it had them knocked from 1 to 3. Now the greatest team, they say they're number 2, and USC was number 1. I mean, Texas. I don't know, man. That was a great game with Texas and USC, but I think Miami. Well, what else does Miami have to prove? I mean, you know, what we need to do is just win. We need to stay focused. We also need great coaches, I believe, or the mediocre thing. I mean, a lot of people's gonna get tired of that stuff, man. They're gonna get tired of us losing, and and I want to see us progress and move forward. On another note, WWE Wrestling, they're doing the Evolution November 28th. I mean October 28th. The Evolution all women's pay per view. The Shield, which is my favorite stable. Dean Ambrose is having problems. I don't know what's going to happen with him. Maybe the Shield will be shut down again. It's kind of getting kind of old. It really is, man. They should stay up and not have to keep reuniting. But that's just my opinion. This is Jason, man. I'll post another video. Thank you for listening to me.